On the eve of the true war, August 4th, 1997, the ascended Rose Roud watched her television. While the mental capacity of Rose Roud seemed diminished, her psychic powers were growing. She was not, in actuality, watching televised home shopping for 12 hours a day. No. Rose Roud had turned her television into a device, a psychic device. She had, stunningly, learned to ride the airwaves of her television. She rode them into the skies, flying over the entire country like a giant airplane. She would fuse with the fuzzy static until she flung herself into the air, catapulted. At a certain point, Rose Roud stopped returning. She was very busy flying and being in her other realms, which she frankly preferred to the realm the spiritualists operated. The realm of hard chairs and fake smiles. The realm of death, where everyone you bother liking rots out and leaks. No, that realm was beneath her, but she still needed to eat, to drink her coffees and take her baths. And on August 4th, she sipped her first coffee of the morning, looking out at the property. Her eyes adjusted to the light. She turned on the shopping network to get ready for her day of traversing the realms, when she felt a sudden shift. For the first time in months, she tuned into the frequencies of her least favorite realm, the realm we all sit in. All at once, the truth hit her. The spiritualists were rebelling against her. Her longtime student was attempting to ascend the vortex. Her hand-chosen successor was conspiring with the gnomes. While she had been exploring new frontiers to expand her empire, her army had been staging mutiny. A rage filled Rose Roud. She turned her television off. She got up, walked to her door. She opened it. She heard the murmuring of her betrayers below. She would walk down these steps and destroy each and every one of them. She stepped outside the doorway. She looked into the blurry haze before her. What used to be her all-encompassing vista of the world was now splotches of floating gray. What used to be her elegant glide had become a painful needling in her heels. Standing in the doorway, Rose Roud realized that she was no longer meant for this realm. Her body was no longer strong. Her brain was no longer good. Rose Roud fell back into her recliner. She grabbed her remote, and she turned on the television. The event that triggered the true war was called the event. It was August 4th, 1997. Turgot Tapid spent the night leading a search for the 4 remaining gnomes. She had not managed to kill a single gnome since Bishop Garrison had slaughtered Todd, the 4th gnome. Nettie watched from the porch. The murder of Todd had destroyed all of his work in the Great Gnome negotiations. He also loved Todd, one of the sillier gnomes. Todd would do a very funny dance that once almost made Nettie smile. Nettie missed that dance. For an empath, grief is difficult. For an empath of Nettie's skill level, grief is a void that can't be described. Nettie felt his grief for Todd in all the realms. It was a screeching grief, a pointy, headache-inducing wait. Nettie would sometimes hide in a bublin, where he wailed. He wailed out all of his tears, all of his emotions, an orgasmic release. Nettie stood up from the porch. He felt a rising thrust of sadness. He began to walk toward the bublin, suppressing his tears. Vivid memories of Todd struck Nettie. Visions of Nettie's dead grandmother suddenly hit him as well. He would not make it to the bublin this time. He fell to the ground and screamed. Turgot Tapid looked to Nettie sobbing. This put her in a wonderful mood. She lit a cigarette and felt the night's cool breeze blow her face. Hours later, the sun rose. Bishop Garrison and Harriet Johanna, exhausted after a night of searching for gnomes, walked back toward the residence. Turgot Tappet awoke in her bedroom. She heard the television of Rose Roud blaring from the other room. Nettie and Yira sat on the porch, Yira having spent the night comforting the despondent Nettie. For the first time in years, they heard a noise from the sky, an awful, gurgling noise. It was August 5th, 1997. The event that triggered the true war was called the event. Up front, Oliver the security man watched an ugly, tacky car approach. It was the Hungarian prince, returning from his princely duties, presumably in Hungary. He had brought breakfast sandwiches for the spiritualists. "Hello, do you have an egg sandwich for me?" asked Oliver. "No, I did not bring you an egg sandwich." A great sadness filled Oliver. It was 6:22 in the morning. This is when the event occurred. Depictions of the event vary from spiritualist to spiritualist in their journal entries. Turgot Tappet described it as a spastic spark that lit the sky, creating a deafening explosive boom. Nettie Hoyt called it a fire as bright as the sun. Oliver wrote in his journal exclusively about the egg sandwich incident, infuriated that he was not considered when the egg sandwich order was placed. But the journals of the ascended Rose Roud provide the clearest depiction. On the evening of August 5th, 1997, she wrote in her journal, "Dearest Diary, it has been years since my last entry. I have been very busy in the other realms. I have figured out how to use my television to fly. I merge with the airwaves and soar through the skies like a giant airplane. I'm not sure why I hadn't thought of that before. I've spent the past few years setting up and aiming my artillery, and today I fired upon the vortex. I transformed into a psychic missile and exploded the vortex in a full-on assault. If the vortex won't allow me to ascend, if it conspires against me and plants its nasty gnomes, then I must respond. I just must. There will indeed be retaliation. This will certainly initiate the third war, and this will be the true war. But I will not partake in this war. I will be in my other, far better realms. Also, breakfast was awful today. I absolutely loathe egg sandwiches. Ew!